Hello, and welcome to Milwaukee Bleeds, the Sabbat Chronicle. Last time, our pack was able to infiltrate the Milwaukee Camarilla and even get a glimpse into the way the Anarchs operate. They were given a lead that a very interestingly named True Black Sabbath gang was making some ruckus that they might be able to take care of and gain the trust of the local Camarilla. Two of our, not coterie, but pack members, Keck and Tekri here, have returned back to the Haven to discover two additional members that are going to be initiated into this pack. But before we get to the story, let's introduce our players. Let's start with Diana. Please tell me a little bit about something yourself and tell the audience who you're playing.
Oh, hi, everybody. I'm Diana. You can find me on the internet all over the place. I'm usually doing something vampire RPG related. I'm the Dice affiliate manager over at Die Hard Dice and the storyteller for the Nightlife over on Play Renegades channel. Tonight, I am playing my gangrel girl, Keck, who is not at all inclined to ripping hearts out.
Fantastic. Now let's move on to May. Tell us about yourself.
I'm Melee Damage. You can find me on all the socials at whatever they are /Melee Damage, which is the easiest way to keep up with all of the stuff that I do, because I have a lot of one shots that I do that are really cool, along with some of the chronicles that I'm a part of right now. Every Monday. On Tuesday, you can catch me on a show called Outbreak Undead over on Hunters Entertainment. A couple of upcoming streams that we're pre-taping right now, including one called Gods of Color over on Kira 858, and a Mage the Ascension campaign as well. As Saturdays, you can catch me on Lords of Faerun, DM'd by Lisa Pearl, also on Kira 858. And besides that, I just do a bunch of other music and film stuff too. So definitely check out my socials. Tonight, I will be playing Tekri. She is a little bit of a creepy smeatsy fleshcrafter, and I'm kind of happy to be here playing her. She makes me very happy. Maybe that's a little sad that she makes me happy, a little scary, but she does.
No, happy. It's wonderful.
Very happy.
Outstanding. Now, Sarah, please tell us about yourself and who you're playing.
Hi, guys. My name is Sarah, but online I'm known as Salubri_NA. That's North America. I am a Twitch streamer who also has background in writing. I've written and LARPed for Vampire the Masquerade for the past 10 years. You can find me on my Twitch under Salubri_NA, where I usually play video games and talk about how I feel that the Salubri have been done dirty throughout all of the vampire lore and how Tremere are the worst, TM. And for my storytelling, I am a dungeon master for Vorpal Tale. You can find me on Saturday evenings running a Dungeons and Dragons homebrew set in the world of League of Legends. Tonight, I will be playing the Salubri, known as Salvo. She comes from the land down under and has made her way to Milwaukee, and I'm chickening out of her accent for tonight. Yes, but she is a Salubri on Path of Death and the Soul, so I'm sure that that's going to play nice.
Fantastic. And to be honest, I chicken out of accents all the time. So
I mean, as I find little words and things I'm comfortable with, I'll start slipping into it. The champagne will also help with that, but for now, we're gonna.
But we talked about that with this chronicle.
Yes.
Because it's in Milwaukee.
Yes.
So we got to do the Milwaukee accent.
Yeah, I was practicing how to say Milwaukee in an Australian accent, and I was just staring at myself in the mirror with my teeth bared, Milwaukee. It's a work in progress.
Great. And last but not least, Rachel, tell us about yourself and your character.
Hello, my name is Rachel. I am stolen fires pretty much everywhere on the internet. You might have seen me streaming on my own channel, or over at Vorpal Tales, where I just wrapped a Sabbat V20 Chronicle of my own, and I am currently running a Call of Cthulhu Masks of, excuse me, getting over a cold, Masks of Nyarlathotep campaign. Once we wrap that, it'll become Horror on the Orient Express. And I will be there, in fact, tonight for Vorpal Tales After Dark, playing some Mythos World. You can also find me over at Plastic Age Place, playing Scarred Lands, and on the Onyx Path channel, playing some Changeling the Dreaming. Although we've only got 2 more sessions of that Chronicle, then it will be over forever. Yeah, and tonight I am playing Charlotte, a gangrel who is on Path of Lilith, which, if you know me, should not be surprising at all. I'm glad David let me play a Bahari. They're so much fun. Yeah, and this is my I've done a lot of writing and playing a vampire, but this is my first time playing V5, so I'm excited.
Glad you're excited and glad you're all here. All fantastic players, phenomenal creatives that I'm just honored that each and every one of you has come here to play my game.
I mean, I like knocked Moon out and like I hit him in an alley so I could take his spot.
I helped.
True story. That happened. Khaldun will be back next week after his wound heals.
And if I decide to let him out.
If you don't hit him again.
He's on nice right now.
And I should introduce myself. My name is David Taveras. I am the storyteller tonight, and when I'm not storytelling this particular game, I am working on video games for my company, Occupational Hazard LLC, which is the channel that we're currently on for Twitch. I have a game, I Woman, coming out soon. It's a twin-stick shooter. You can find it now on Steam to wishlist. Now let's get back to a Sabbat tale. Milwaukee bleeds. Tekri and Keck, with the new information you have ascertained from Elysium, you've decided to regroup back at the Haven. Something's wrong. You're hearing a lot of sounds from inside, and that should be a very deserted location.
Heck, do you hear that?
I do. That doesn't seem quite right. My love, do you mind hanging back for just a moment?
You know what? Yes, I will let you have fun with this one. Go for it.
I'll make sure that your snack wasn't disturbed in your absence, too.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes. Keck is going to take 2 very swift steps forward and then jump. And when she lands, you'll see almost a very oversized, hairless Sphinx cat standing there.
Ooh.
Now I know that the windows were kind of covered up from the inside of this house. However, I know it was also a run-down house. Is there perhaps a way that I could squeeze my furless body inside?
Absolutely. Go ahead and make a dexterity and is it stealth roll?
You know, you tell me.
Or acrobatics?
You're in charge here.
I'm in charge. You will make a dexterity and athletics roll.
Sure, I will do that. Worst case scenario, Tekri can like rub some butter on the outside of wait, why don't you let me do this?
Butter, vampire's best friend.
Yeah, that's the story of how they got Holly Berry into the Catwoman suit. They had to like cover her in oil to squeeze her into the latex. So we're already on track.
never really think about how those costumes smell, do you?
Too real.
This orange juice tastes really good.
That's a lot of successes. Yeah, you slip through, don't even touch it. You're so agile and graceful.
First thing I'm gonna do, is the author within line of sight? And is he touching Tekri's food?
Priorities. From what you see, the author is tending something as if caring for a garden. Do you want to shift over to a better vantage point?
Yes, as quietly as I can.
You see several writhing, wriggling, body-shaped, just their bodies hanging from the ceiling, but you can't see who they are. They're completely covered in duct tape, head to toe.
I'll kind of do the head tilt and just meow.
Oh. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Ah. Please. Just have a little drink. The author pulls out what you can only describe as a tap, like for a keg, and jabs it right into one of the throats of one of the hanging individuals. Puts down a little bowl for you. Opens the tap as blood comes just spilling out.
You know that terrible, like low, constant yowling noise that cats can make? Keck is going to make that noise at the author all the way back to the window she jumped in at. And then just start pawing at it a little bit and hope that Tekri hears it.
Can Takri hear it?
If you're being attentive, absolutely.
Okay. Wasn't sure how loud it was around the situation where we were at.
This cat is the size of a dog, so it's probably pretty loud.
Tucker will come strolling in, and she'll look at first through the window at Keck and kind of try to see what's going on in there, and then walk inside of the house.
Oh, there she is, the wayward protagonist. I decided we got off on the wrong foot earlier, so decided to prepare a feast for us.
Ah. Oh, okay. You tried to do a nice thing. Oh. Is the other one still here?
Oh, yes, of course. I didn't touch your food.
I
I didn't have to. These poor unfortunate souls decided that they would try their luck at finding their way through the haunted house. Oh, speaking of unfortunate souls, I believe you have some visitors. Visitors! Charlotte and Salvo, you are being summoned.
Salvo will walk out first. She's midway through telling a joke to Charlotte that doesn't seem particularly funny or doesn't seem to have any kind of punchline. So it's just kind of one of those like rambling 3-minute jokes where you're just waiting for the punchline that never comes. She's wearing a military outfit, like she's wearing camo, and she has the flat cap on. And when she walks out, she says, "Oh, evening." She points to the wriggling bodies and says, "Lunch?"
And for her part, I just decided to go full stereotype for this character. So she looks like she walked off the set of Near Dark. So full bicycle leather. She got a big old combat knife strapped to her hip. It's definitely been used before. Big heavy boots, big heavy jacket. And when Salva was telling the joke, she's paying attention in the sort of way of like, I think there might be a punchline, and I'm trying to decipher what it is. And then she will get distracted by the hanging bodies. Her animal trait is that wherever you go, she smells like unwashed animal and dirty cat box, and like it's very offensive and disconcerting. It's like hung the laundry right over the cat box, so just absorbs all those fun smells.
From Salvo's prompt, the author offers, "All you can eat."
Oh, well, awfully kind of you, but I got a meeting in a couple of hours, so I have to save my appetite.
Charlotte will make eye contact with Tekri and just sort of nod.
Hello there.
And then start just picking one of the human duct tape cocoons, I guess, and cutting it almost like she's flaying the skin.
Keck is going to start like figurating around your ankles and purring.
So
Hello there.
This our crew then? Some of it? All of it?
Yes. Unfortunately, half the crew, the other half, they have other places to be. One said that he needs his, that this feast won't satisfy his hunger, so he went off on his own to feed.
Man of my own taste.
Yes. Yes, we all have interesting particular tastes in this group. And the other, the sparkly one, she said she had a concert to attend. She said you would know what that means.
A sparkly one?
She went by the moniker Sparkles, I believe.
Okay.
So, what have you found out? How will we destroy the city?
I believe so far we found out there's a group calling themselves I don't know, something with that Ozzy Osbourne band, the Black Sabbath. They sounded kind of knockoffy to me. Heck, did they sound knockoffy to you? Like maybe they're not like super legit. Like I feel like we might not have a hard time taking these guys out, especially with all of us.
Keck will is the author like squatted beside these bodies? I'm looking for a lap.
Yeah.
Salvo has taken a seat on like a lopsided desk.
Great. Keck is going to, still in cat form, walk over and jump on your lap and then drop shape change to answer Tekri.
Salvo doesn't blink. She's just like, at first she was like about to start petting you, and then she's like, oh, and she just like moves her hand up to keep petting like the top of your head instead after you've shape shifted. Like this happens a lot to her or something.
Yeah, they sort of sounded novice in a way. We met some important folks though. I think the prince very much likes us, and there was this Karna character that seemed very taken with me.
Her hand stops petting you and she kind of does like a
No, you don't need to stop. It's
just and she like tentatively keeps going. She's Shamir and I don't get along. So it's nice to know that there's a strong one of them here to be taken out.
Oh, well, then I wish I'd known. Author, you should have told me. I could have taken care of it right then and there.
Oh no, I'll help. Like,
Oh,
even better.
we also, speaking of helping, I think maybe it would be a good idea to weasel our way into that circle of protectors around the prince, get into some of his most trusted circle, and maybe from the inside.
They were so boring, though.
They were. But see, now the great part of that is with a little time and a little imagination, I can make them less boring.
Don't you think they'll notice if they suddenly have extra limbs or something?
Well, you don't have to start with limbs. You start with extra souls.
That just
And
seems
that
like a
leads
lot
into
to
extra
keep
limbs.
track of.
It's just extra steps, really.
I
And we're
think it
playing a
sounds
long
like
game.
good plan.
Anyway,
It's
there are all
boring.
kinds of manners that we can use to start burning this Milwaukee to the ground.
It
I
seems
like
you
the
have,
idea of making the boring far less boring and getting to the prince that way.
You like it until you wake up with something extra attached.
What's to say that hasn't already happened?
Salvo kind of like nods knowingly.
To Cree, apparently I've been the outlier here. Thank you so much for not messing with perfection, as it were.
Of course. Only the ones that really need it. It takes a lot out of me. I'm an artist, and you are truly a work of art, Kek.
Thank you, dear.
not to interrupt this beautiful moment, but it seems like you've acquired quite the target list. Fantastic. So who are you going to go after first? What's the next move? I have to write it all down, which is why I'm asking.
Well, I'm only in the city for a few nights, so I suggest whatever we decide to do, we do quickly.
The prince is the key, is he not?
Well, it's like chess. You don't go straight for the king. You got to
I
go
don't
for the
play
bishop.
chess.
Okay, let me put this into civvy terms. First, we go for his sheriff, who is defense. So sounds like this killing the true Black Sabbath people is a favor to get in good with the sheriff. Once we're in good with the sheriff, we knock him out. We replace him with one of us. Have you seen that new movie that just came out, Parasite?
I don't watch movies.
All right, well, it's great. It won an award and everything. So first we start getting the sheriff's trust, get rid of the sheriff, replace him with one of us. Then we go to whoever is above him, get his trust, knock him out, replace him with one of us, until eventually the entire circle that this prince wants to surround himself for protection is us. And that's when we make things interesting. Because once we have the sheriff, once we have the prince, we can make things as interesting or as uninteresting as we want for them.
Your knowledge of the Camarilla structure is absolutely fascinating. You are going to be a great asset in this.
Well, I mean, I've taken out a couple of princedoms in Australia, so.
Very nice. Yes, I will agree then. At that note, we probably should go take out the aforementioned high school students. True Black Sabbath, those guys.
Do we
High
know where
school
to?
students.
I believe they have given us a clue. You see George, Sparkle's stuffy, as she put it, her stuffed animal, kind of looked like a cross between a hippo and a giraffe, walks into the room. Now, George is about this big. It's hobbling in, drenched in blood. The author places down the stretched out backskin that she was scrawling in the notes on and picks up the stuffed animal. Sparkle said she had to go to a concert. Do you think she crashed it a little early?
That thing walked.
Yes, it appears to have.
Is this how? This is gonna sound a little insensitive, but is this normal in America for the Sabbat?
Wow, you're right. That does sound insensitive. Do you see anyone else here with a walking stuffed animal?
No, that's why I was curious. It's a conversation starter.
I seem to have found the mechanism. Sewn within the stuffed animal are limbs of a variety of human beings, it seems.
What does it do?
Can I make like an occult roll or something? Since Tekri kind of crafts abominations frequently, would she have any idea what? Like,
Yeah, go ahead, make an intelligence occult roll.
I'm gonna rouse my intelligence.
Sure.
Ooh, success, Benny.
Yeah, this is it's actually a standard homunculus. However, it's Sparkles has decided to put a stuffed animal over it, which doesn't seem to obstruct it any. It's wearing it like a suit.
Wow, that was a really large dice pool, and I only got 2 successes.
That's
That's
enough.
so precious.
That's enough. Enough to know it's a homunculus. Done, created with a oblivion ritual or ceremony rather.
Yeah, Tekri will share that with the rest of the group.
Actually, fairly clever camouflage.
Only if you don't smell it.
I mean, we do something similar like that, but with kangaroos.
And you think we're the strange ones. Just to be clear here.
Hey, I was just curious. I've seen weird disguises for homunculi, but never a stuffed animal.
You can stop petting me now. I think I'm done.
Very good.
Curious. It's also where she kept her cocaine. Not sure why she would need that.
Yeah, she's a very interesting one. I like her. She's just a little odd.
Do we think that perhaps this true Black Sabbath is keen on music?
The name would seem to indicate it.
What are you thinking?
Sorry, my internet cut out, so I missed what you said in response.
I was asking, what are you thinking?
Well, if they're youths who are interested in music, perhaps this concert is a good place to start looking for them. Plus, I haven't been in a good mosh pit in ages, so.
That's a very good point. I like this plan.
I could create your own mosh pit anytime you want. You do know that, Keck, right? Like, you just get a bunch of schlachta together, and
Yes, dear, but I don't want to put you out. I mean, I know you like to work on your passion projects, and I am lucky enough to bear witness most of the time. So, truthfully, you do me a great service whether you create a mosh pit or a single abomination.
You've given me ideas though, and I like where this is going. And I like the concert idea because that gives me an opportunity to collect more things for this
You
project.
know that thing they do with the crowd surfing where it's just arms carrying people? Just do a sea of arms with no bodies attached.
I'm loving this. Okay, nope, I'm sold. Concert it is.
Do we know if there are any concerts going on right now? Are
No.
either of the duct taped individuals still breathing?
Oh, they're breathing. They don't have any skin, but they are breathing.
Wonderful. But they're duct taped, so I wouldn't know that they don't have skin.
That's true.
Well, I mean, Charlotte has been like sort of gently flaying one. So I figure we'd probably like, oh, hey, that's what the duct tape's for.
Wonderful. I'm going to go to the other one and just with one of my claws poke a very tiny little hole at the ear so it can hear me and just say, I know that you're in a lot of pain right now. I can give you a swift end, but I need you to give me some information. So I'm going to cut a slit for you to open your mouth through. And you can scream once, but then you're going to tell me if there are any concerts happening. All right? Okay. And I'll cut a little gap in the tape where the lips would be.
I'm gonna make a roll to see if it's even able, I call it, even able to muster the will. Technically a success.
Love that word, technically.
Technically. Between the screams, it's I don't know, is all it can get out.
Ugh, you're useless. I'm going to activate lethal body and rip it in half.
Yeah, such a mess. The blood just splatters. Get some intestines on your shoe.
Should we try the other one?
Yes. Salvo was like suddenly like right behind you when you did that. And she's like watching the body like come apart.
I mean, I'm not going to argue if you want to play with your food, but I could just make a phone call.
I have an idea. How about a game?
All right, you have my attention.
Let's race. You make your phone. I'll talk to the other one. That way it dies no matter what.
Sounds good.
All right.
What are the stakes?
Winner feeds the loser some vitae. What do you say?
I'll take it.
Splendid. On your mark, get set, go. And I will repeat the process.
Nice.
And so while Keck is doing that, I have 3 dots of criminal contacts. And so I will call asking about underground raves or pop-up dance parties, things of that nature.
Okay, go ahead and make a resolve and what would it be? Investigation roll. And if you beat a 2, you win.
Okay.
Rude.
Oh.
There we go. Yeah, you know that there's a couple concerts on. Closest one would be at Turner Hall, which isn't too far away.
Yeah, so Charlotte will just open her phone, have a very brief conversation, hang up, and just be like, Turner Hall.
Fuck. Keka's gonna take both of her arms and just shove them into the rib cage of this person and just rip out everything that was in there.
Nice, Salvo says from behind you again.
The author hands you a handkerchief to. It's not going to help. There's just too much gore everywhere. But
I'll just make direct eye contact with the author and just start licking the blood off of my arms. I'm okay.
Did you by chance keep any of the clothes that these poor suckers were wearing? I'm gonna need them.
in the pile, in the back of the room, there's just a pile of all their clothes and belongings. The author stripped them down as soon as they entered and then tore off the skin.
All right, Salvo's gonna go peruse and change out of her like military uniform. She'll keep the cap, but she's gonna put on, some like weird combination of like Hot Topic graphic T-shirt and like ripped skinny jeans, and like she's gonna find some like spiked like bracelets and maybe like some cartilage piercings, and she'll just like like poke them through her ears. The cap stays on.
And then Charlotte is just looking at Keck.
I think Decree at this point kind of looks at everybody and goes, watching all of you do this has made me slightly peckish. Still going to wait until later to eat, but I do have to go meal prep real quick before we go do this. I will be back momentarily.
Sure. Do we want to do the Valdery with us, or do we want to wait until the other companions get back?
I'm not sure they're going to be coming back anytime soon, so let's go ahead and commence the ritual as soon as you're ready.
Well, I think
After
someone
you,
owes me a forfeit first.
I suppose that's true, though I can't say that it's going to be entirely unpleasant.
What a shame.
Keck will kind of hold out her hand upturned.
As an offering. Out of seemingly nowhere, the author pulls out a ritualistic dagger and a goblet in the other hand. Placing it over your wrist makes a slight nick, but effective.
I widen it.
Nice. Vitae comes pouring out. The deep crimson color is almost mesmerizing.
Charlotte will try and put her finger like right in the wrist. And she'll try digging it in. And as she does so, she is watching Keck very closely for a reaction. Like it's almost like, does it hurt now? Does it hurt now? Does it hurt now?
Keck responds, I don't know that it's the opposite of what you're expecting, but the only reaction you get is that her smile widens the harder you press.
Okay, and then like just short of doing actual damage, you're tough. I like that. And we'll take a couple licks like a cat out of a saucer.
Right, while this is going on, Salvo, would you like to contribute?
Oh, yeah, sure. Allow me. And she takes the dagger and she goes, she cuts, and the minute she opens her veins, just the smell of her vitae is like sickeningly sweet. And she kind of looks around like she's expecting you guys to like jump her or something. And when no one seems to, she goes, right. And she'll squeeze a little bit into she'll squeeze into the cup, and she'll close herself up and like give it like a little rub and pass the dagger on to Tekri.
Tekri kind of rounds the corner, watching all of this, and does walk up and takes the blade and thinks about something for a quick second, and then also does the same. But right as she's about to cut, she does this and goes, ugh, and bites into her wrist and dumps a little in and licks the wound close, and then just nods with the blade and passes it on.
Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte will stab through her hand and then out, and then just hold it over the chalice, bleeding a point or two into the goblet before pulling it back. And she doesn't heal, but she just sort of pulls out this old bloody bandage that looks like it's been used multiple times before, and just wraps it a couple times around her hand.
Before she can wrap it up, Keck is gonna kind of just make a quick movement to grasp her right lightly at the wrist and just say, do you mind if I return the favor? I mean, I know we're about to do the ceremonial stuff, but
Help yourself.
and Keck is going to take her hand, and rather than lap like a cat, there's
Oh no.
She's frozen.
F.
The suspense.
Did I freeze?
Yeah, you froze.
Yeah.
Right at the exact like most suspenseful moment.
Rather than lap like a cat and
sorry guys, it's storming here. So as she kind of like leans in, instead of lapping like a cat, she's gonna kind of bare her teeth just a little and sort of nip at the wound that's in your palm. And she'll pull back and just sort of smear the blood away. Thank you.
Anytime.
And the last one present, the author, takes the chalice, slices their wrist, pours a healthy portion of vitae in there. By Cain and by Lilith, eyeing the two of you. Those above the antediluvians, those true heirs to the blood, may we join them in power. Please, partake. The goblet is then handed off to Keck.
Keck will look around at this group, including the author, who she kind of stares daggers at. For Cain, and take a swig, pass it to Salvo.
Salvo was like that one, the hand that she like cut in her pocket. She'll take the goblet in the other hand, and she'll do kind of like a cheers around the circle. And she says, for Cain, for Lilith, let's break some fucking bonds. And she'll pass it off to Tekri.
Tekri will hold it in her hand and go, to the Dark Mother and all of her unholy abominations, and take a real deep swig and then pass it off to Charlotte.
For the wisdom of Cain. and from his teacher, whom all that wisdom came from, for enlightenment and freedom. She'll take her own portion of the vitae before passing it back to the author.
All of you feel each other's passions, fears, desires, very intense emotions. From the author, you see the moment the author was dead and born again. Looking up at a starry sky, tears streaming down their face, choking. But the last word the author spoke was, finally, as the author accepted their fate. Please, each one of you go around and give a moment from your character's life that meant something, whether it's traumatic, passionate, desire, anything, even if it was something that might have been like a fleeting memory but stood out. Let's start with Keck.
So you see Keck exactly the same age as she is now, and you get the sense that this is probably right after. But she's standing in what looks like a sort of an old school gym with a boxing rink, where it's really clear that she was just fighting someone, except she's stepping back, eyes wide with horror. The body laid out in front of her is eviscerated. There's chunks of flesh sort of littering the ground around it as it twitches and bleeds out.
May describe the moment you give to your packmates.
You see Takri and her gang of friends around her. Some that you recognize, some that you don't. And you see all of them go to bed, and you see her standing there, and the first time she watched the sun rise as a kindred.
Sarah, please share some of Salvo.
Okay. It's in a time when the world is older. And you see her getting on a boat. And she's clutching a couple of books, an army duffel. And she's mumbling the same words over and over again, which are, Sabbat liberates you. Antediluvians enslave you. Death becomes you.
Rachel, give us a piece of Charlotte.
Yeah, her sire did the whole catch and release thing the gangrel do, where just embrace and then disappear. You're on your own. Let's see if you can survive. And it turned out to be quite difficult for Charlotte for any number of reasons. And yeah, there was a lot of trying to figure out what it means to be a vampire and like getting caught poaching, and then having to pay the penalty for getting caught poaching and running afoul of Camarilla law. And you get the feeling that as difficult as her early on life was, she finds meaning in following the path of Lilith as sort of this like metaphysical, spiritual promise that everything that she went through and everything that she suffered had meaning.
All of those moments happened to each of you individually, but now it feels as if it happened to you together as a pack. It did not feel like you were just watching those moments on television or whatever. It felt like you were there. You felt every emotion from the point of view. You felt every presence, every pain, every desire. And now you are closer together as a pack. The ritual is complete. Tekri, did you have a ritual that you wanted to perform? Was it private?
Oh, anyone could join if they want, but she did just want to go prepare her meal for later.
Meal prep. It's important for a healthy diet.
Mm-hmm.
Salvo will tail after you, and she won't say anything. She won't ask questions. She'll just almost almost like it's like voyeuristic. She'll just like sit in a corner and like watch, and she'll kind of do like a stand up to like peek and get a better look from time to time. But for the most part, she's just silent.
Keck is also going to follow and watch, but probably for different reasons.
I mean, if that's where the whole pack's going, Charlotte will bring up the rear.
And Takri will apologize along the way, going, I'm sorry. I know you all just ate. I'm a very picky eater, and I just sorry. And she will go down to where she's keeping the aforementioned snack.
Salvo will say, "Oh no, we had a neonate who had similar dietary needs. It was fun to it's like watching cook all over the world, you know."
Good. Okay, good. That's a good way to think about it. Thank you. And I guess when she gets to where she is keeping this guy, she will start to go into kind of like a meditation that you hear a lot of.
Fast question. Is he alive or dead?
He should still be alive, I believe.
Okay. All right. Then she'll actually get closer in to watch.
Excellent. And yeah, she goes into like a deep meditation state, and you see that she starts like chanting a lot of like old school. You recognize it as Bahari, Charlotte, but it sounds like old Hebrew. And she goes and grabs a bit of something out of her pocket, which looks a lot like weed. And she loads it up into a pipe that she then inhales and breathes deeply into his face. She tries to get this effect going into his bloodstream. And after a short amount of time, you notice she bites into him, but then leans back and bites into her own wrist and gives him some of the blood to turn him. She looks back at all of you and goes, we'll let him process this for a little bit. He has been changed in the name of the Dark Mother, which is great. We have a new Bahari. Do not name him. He will not be around for long. And she proceeds to walk out of the room.
Darling, since you're serving.
Yes.
Do you mind?
So soon.
It's just a convenience thing, truly. Please. Tekri.
Okay. All right. How would you like to do this time? A more ritualistic or a more primal approach?
Darling, you know me.
And Tekri will lean out her wrist.
And there's a moment of like slow predatory approach, and then Keck is on Takri's wrist. There's almost like a not like a super painful sound, but almost like a crunching sound. Like you can tell she's actually biting. And after a moment, she just sort of pulls back and, thank you, dear. I needed that.
While this is happening, Salvo will lean over to Charlotte and say, "You have no idea how weird it is for it to be someone that isn't me for once."
Which part?
She points to Tekri.
Congratulations.
Oh, I have no complaints. It's just it's a role reversal, you know?
Tekri knows what she's doing. You can learn a lot from her.
Sort of half growling into Tekri's wrist after you say she knows what she's doing, Keck will kind of lean up for a second and go, she sure does.
And Tekri will actually look over at Salvo and go, if you would ever like to join the Church of Bahari, I think we could probably teach you a lot of cool things about the Dark Mother. Just an offer. You don't have to accept right away.
I mean, I've got all the time in the world now. But maybe we should go work on toppling the Camarilla before. I'd like to do my learning in peace and quiet.
You make very valid points.
Yeah. She gives you a smile, but it's like all teeth, like no joy. So off to go find some true Black Sabbath.
Yes, quick technical question. How many dots did Keck take from Tekri?
As many as Tekri would have let her. But I assume it probably was only one.
Okay. There's a substantial difference between 1 and 2 dots for me right now. So okay, 1 is good.
So did that, she took it out from you, so I'll up your hunger by 1 on the screen. The author... George, this isn't blood. This is... This is Sparkles Vitae.
What do you mean?
The stuffed animal, she's dressed, drenched in Vitae. This is dormant Vitae, Sparkles, if I remember this taste.
Would we have any kind of forgive me, I have not read the Sabbat book cover to cover yet. Would we have any sense of if something had happened to a member of our pack? Is that a feeling, an inkling?
It would be stronger if you had probably more rituals or blood bonds. Considering that it was just a first round, you didn't establish a very strong connection.
Okay.
Probably have to use a discipline to hone in on it. It wouldn't not just be innate. It wouldn't just be a moment in the Force that's like thousands of lives have gone. Yeah,
Sure. We'll hold, please, for just a moment. Don't actually hold. You guys can do whatever you're going to do.
Actually, we will hold because it is time to take the break. Thank you. We will be right back in about 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Ooh.